I'd like to now invite the next presentation, which will be led by Dr. Shivani Tiwari. This will look at, again, affix mapping, but in another language, which is Kannada. And again, we've learned a lot from her affix mapping work. So over to you, Dr. Shivani.
Welcome to the next presentation titled Structural Properties of Child-Directed Print Corpus in Kannada and its Implications for Child Language Assessment. Moving on to the background, the word structure knowledge or morphological knowledge is an independent predictor. We all know that. And it predicts the reading skills or reading success in children over and above vocabulary and word reading skills. And it has been shown to be sensitive across reading ability as per these authors. Therefore, morphological knowledge is an essential skill for early child language assessment. In terms of morphological knowledge, we are particularly interested to look at the affixes and inflections occurring in these words and what type of information is carried in these affixes and what are the grammatical word class changes occurring, and in addition to the grammatical changes, what are the phonological changes happening at the word boundary. So moving on to a brief introduction of Kannada morphology. Kannada is a language spoken in South Asian province and it comes from Dravidian language family. The Kannada morphology is agglutinative in nature, meaning that it has a root with a set of affixes, suffixes attached, and each suffix has independent grammatical function. So in Kannada morphology, the use of suffix is predominantly seen for affixation, and also compounding is observed commonly. Compounding wherein two or multiple roots, word roots combine to form newer words. Apart from affixation and compounding, even morphophonological changes or what is called as sandhi is commonly seen in the language. The nouns in Kannada consist of proper names, common nouns, and pronouns, and we also have some adjective forms. The nouns are marked for case, number, and gender. There are 7 cases in Kannada and number in terms of singular and plural, and the 3 genders are marked for Kannada language. The verbs in Kannada consist typically of a lexical base, which can be of either a simple root or it can exist as a root with a suffix or a series of suffix attached to a single root. The verb forms can be irregular in Kannada in terms of how the past tense forms are derived from these roots. The verb forms in Kannada can appear in finite or infinite forms. The finite forms usually mark for tense, mood, and the subject-verb agreement using the person, number, gender, or PNG markers. As depicted in the example, in Kannada, the sentence is, Avalu shalege hodalu, which means she left for the school. We can see that the number and gender marker attached to the pronoun corresponds or agrees with the number and gender marker which is affixated or which is attached to the verb, which is nothing but the subject verb agreement, and it gives us a hint about the agreement happening in the sentence. So moving on to the need for the study and the objective. We have limited studies on tests, particularly assessing the morphological awareness in the language. Therefore, the present study aims to present the structural property, particularly in terms of the word length, affix frequency, and the compounding nature of materials from the child-directed corpus, print corpus, in order to understand what are the requirements for child language assessment and particularly morphological awareness. So moving on to the method. So we performed structural analysis from a subset of 80 roots taken from 2727 nonlinear sentences. in the following proportion. We had 40 of 676 unique verbs, 30 of 1954 unique nouns, and 10 of 356 unique adjectives. And these 80 roots led to 1795 word tokens derivations. And this was obtained using the affix mapping process, which was just explained by Dr. Mary Ann and colleagues in the previous presentation. Using this affix mapping process, we derived the parameters in terms of word length, in terms of morpheme, syllable, and phoneme counts, as well as word frequency for affixes and for compounding. And these length and frequency was further analyzed by the book levels as these categories 3 to 5, 6 to 8, and 9 to 10 years, and also for parts of speech in terms of noun, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. So the rationale for selecting these 80 roots were in the proportion of 40 verbs, 30 nouns, and 10 adjectives were in terms of frequency. So we selected roots which were both of high and low frequency occurring roots. And we considered regularity because this is an important feature in Kannada verbs particularly. So we had some representation from the irregular verb roots as well. And we also looked into the specificity of these roots for a given parts of speech. This was with respect to nouns and adjectives used in this. So, so moving on to the results. So we found we found that there were we had 40 verb roots, which led to 990 these many derivations from the total of child-directed print corpus as represented in this table. We had 30 noun roots, which led to these many derivations, 642 derivations, and 10 adjective roots, which led to 159 derivations from the child literature. So based on these derivations, we found that the affix mapping exercise was demonstrating very well the variety of ways in which the root word appeared in these children's book. So we found the variety of derived verbs as a representative of the print environment of children, as well as the children's morphological awareness and acquisition. Moving on to the findings in terms of the length for morpheme, syllable, and phonemes. So these two tables represent the mean word lengths and standard deviation by book levels and parts of speech. So as you can see in the top uh, table, we had lengths represented for books for children from 3 to 5, 6 to 8, and 9 to 10 years old. And in terms of morpheme, syllables, and phonemes, a look at the table reveals that there were no much increase in the word length by book levels. In other words, we did not see a trend of increase in word length as we move with the book level. However, for parts of speech in the bottom table, we saw that there was a trend for specific parts of speech wherein we can see that verbs and adverbs were of longer length in comparison to nouns and adjectives. And for instance, we had a word like this, Kelsakagi, which was tagged as an adverb, which had 3 morphemes and 5 syllables and 11 phonemes. So the length was high because of the number of affixes and even the length of the affix. Moving on to the affix frequency we obtained by book levels and parts of speech. These two tables present the cumulative affix count by parts of speech and age and the book levels. So the top table represents the overall all affix counts across these parts of speech and book levels. So we can see that there was an increase in 10 with the book levels. The overall affix frequency increased with the book level. And the bottom table shows the unique affix count for these different parts of speech across the book levels. So we can clearly see from these two tables that there were more affixes for verbs followed by other parts of speech like nouns and adjectives. And overall, there was an increase in the affix frequency with the book level. Next, moving on to the affixes, we found a number of affixes which we represent using the functions. So the noun affixes, or the affixes which generally go or attach to the nouns, we found these. So we had generally the case markers, so these 6-7 case markers in Kannada, and the number or plural marker. For verb affixes, we had plenty of unique affixes which were categorized in terms of tense, number, gender, mood, and aspect function. And apart from noun and verb affixes, we had certain clitics and other affixes with different syntactic functions as represented. Moving on to the percentage of compound words, which we found from the children's book as per the book levels and parts of speech. These two tables represent the compound words and the compound words with affixes which we found in the children's book. So the top table shows as comparison with book levels. We can see that compound words were commonly seen even for uh, books for younger children, and this showed a increasing trend specifically for compounding with affixation for children, for books for children with higher levels. In terms of parts of speech, again we found some trends, interesting trends. So compounding was more common for noun, whereas compounding with affixation was more common for verbs. We also looked into the percentage of word tokens which we encountered as root alone or root with inflections, and inflections as in just one inflection, one affix or multiple affix. Again, we represent it by book level and parts of speech in these two tables. With respect to book level, again we found an increasing trend for affixation. So in other words, as the children's book, as we go for books from lower to higher age band, we found more affixation. And with parts of speech, again, we found that the affixation was clearly frequently seen for verbs and followed by nouns. And less inflections where affixation was seen for other parts of speech. So the preliminary observations with in terms of word structure in Kannada child directed print corpus showed following. The word length, we did not find a change with respect to book level. In terms of parts of speech, we found that verbs and adverbs tended to be longer in comparison to noun and adjectives, probably due to the multiple affixation, longer affix length, example this, which was found for adverbs, and also compounding. For compound word percentage, we found an increase in terms of book level. And again, with respect to parts of speech, it was more common for verbs and nouns. For affix frequency, we saw there was also an increase with book level. Affix frequency also showed a trend with parts of speech, wherein we saw verbs presented with maximum unique affixes, followed by other parts of speech like noun, adjectives, adverbs, whereas nouns showed an average higher affix frequency. So clearly the data showed that verbs are the most productive most productive in creating unique word tokens with respect to multiple affixation. So we clearly saw that we had 994 derivations or word derivations from just 40 words. That itself shows how productive the verbs are in terms of affixation and compounding in Kannada. This feature is also reflected, as we discussed, in terms of word compounding and the long word lengths. Most affixes, irrespective of their function, were distributed across book levels. We saw the distribution across book levels of different levels, and it showed an increasing trend in frequency with age. But affixes showed a consistent distribution across parts of speech. For instance, the case number markers were always attached to nouns, except a few like inda, which we saw that were attached to adjectives and adverbs as well. Further, tenses, number, gender, and mood aspect markers we found consistently being attached to verbs. Clitics and other affixes also had a tendency to attach to verbs. However, there was few affixes like ada, agi, which were specifically attached to adjectives and adverbs. So moving on to the implications for these findings in terms of child language assessment, our data has implications for item selection for language assessment in terms of item selection by frequency of affixes. We can go by book levels and parts of speech. And these kind of affix frequency informed item selection is relevant to tasks such as grammatical knowledge by focusing on grammatical functions of the affix, also for morphological awareness task where we can look into the word structure in terms of roots and affixes. It is also important, it has implications for vocabulary knowledge task also, wherein we can look into the unique roots, their derivations, both in terms of affixes and roots frequencies. Further implications from the study show that the longer words appear in Kannada children literature right from beginning, early years, which has implication for phonological processing, working memory, verbal short-term, and word decoding skills in children. Children books are a rich source which provide a range of affixes, which again has implication in terms of using interventions with these books and providing support for morphological awareness in early years. Children book could be a potential source of sampling word structure for child language assessment, given its implication. However, its implication of whether storybooks will be used or textbook will be enough, we are yet to answer this with our existing corpus. So the future work we are still working or we plan to conduct is in terms of morphophonological or sandhi changes during affixation, which based on our preliminary observation includes deletion of a vowel or addition of a consonant or a vowel before the attachment of affix, or sometimes no change. And item selection following this needs to be examined with respect to what are the morphophonological changes with respect to the root type and affix type. Given that irregular roots are very common in Kannada and have greater processing demands, we need to further look into this aspect. And we did not do affix mapping for pronouns given its difference. However, this needs to be checked separately in our future work. So with this, we acknowledge Professor Amrit Valli for her guidance and our research associates for their help with the data extraction.
There's a question there on whether Kannada has dialectical differences and varieties, and what did you do? So would you like to answer that live?
So yes, Kannada has a lot of dialectal varieties, and we also found a few when we were initially analyzing the child corpus. However, we did not go really in detail with respect to the dialectal analysis. But these, there are some 4 standard dialects in Kannada and many further other dialects also of Kannada.